What is up, One Pride Nation, and welcome to another episode of Lions Basement Banter. As you can see, it's just me on the screen. Your favorite host is right here. Brendan is actually in Iowa for some, I don't know, weird hippie festival. I don't know, some music thing that he's out there for. So it's going to be a short show, and you're going to have to listen to just me. So it's going to be probably obnoxious more than anything, but we're going to make sure we bring you some things because we definitely have some things going on. Obviously, we've got training camp going on. We also have a preseason game this week, which is absolutely crazy. Can't believe how fast that went. I love the Lions going so deep into the season that our off season is shortened. So we're gonna dive right in. First of all, let's hear from our sponsors, like we do every single episode.
This show is brought to you by Empire Contractors over here in Shelby, Michigan, on the west side of the state where we do our show, right along the lakeshore. Empire Contractors is a commercial roofing contractor who specializes in liquid applied roofing restoration. Check this out.
They can clean your existing roof, make some minor repairs, and apply a new thick coating system over your existing roof, avoiding expensive and nasty tear-off, saving you about half the cost over other systems. Empire Contractors work the entire Great Lakes region.
Give them a call to see if your roof is a candidate. They can be reached at 231-861-7221 or by going to roofsbyempire.com. They are also on Facebook.
All right. So getting into this, we're actually not going to really do anything as far as what we usually do for main event. We're not going to do that was random. I'm actually just going to be on here because I want to get you guys some content and some updates on both what we've got going on and what's going on in Lions Land as well. So we'll jump right in. First of all, I wanted to talk about the Lions in the top the NFL's joke of a top 100 list. Caveat, I do realize that this was voted on by the players. I do understand that. I think that it should be less of a popularity contest and more of based on who's in there. For example, Aaron Rodgers. This is based on last year, or it should be based on last season. And going into this season, I know plays a little bit too, but Aaron Rodgers should not be on the list of top 100. Cam Hayward, who had 33 tackles, solo tackles, and 2 sacks all season last year at 35 years old. Probably going to see a small dip this year. Really should not be on the top 100. I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, Brad Holmes-Balge and I were kind of going back and forth in agreement on some of these and what makes this list so dumb. And last week, I know Brendan and I kind of went back and forth in a little bit of a banter on making these lists in the first place. So I just, I guess the other one would be Deebo Samuel making the list at 30 and someone like Devontae Adams going at number 40. Those two should have been swapped for sure. Tyreek Hill is a hell of a football player. He's a great wide receiver. He's got a ton of speed. Is he the best, hands down, best NFL player right now? The best player in the NFL? Number one? Over like Patrick Mahomes? Christian McCaffrey? I'm just saying, I think he's top 5, but I mean, heck, again, we're basing it off of last year, so you really can't do this, but, they obviously didn't because Aaron Rodgers is in there, but I mean, should Justin Jefferson be higher? Should he be in the top 5 or 7-ish range, So I just it drives me nuts to see this list, to be honest with you guys. It sucks. The list sucked. And part of it is stuff like some of the guys that we have omitted was rough. We had, for Lions, we had Sam Laporta coming in at number 80. Jared Goff ended up at, I'm trying to remember. He was like 48, I think, and then Aiden was 47, if I remember right. I don't know, man. I feel like Goff should have been higher. Hutch probably pretty close there, honestly. He's good, he's great, but there were some things obviously that he could clean up on a little bit. And then Amon-Ra came in at 23, I believe. Penei Sewell came in at 22. So is that true? We had two back to backs. That's kind of crazy. But you know, Amon-Ra being right there, I get it. We're talking the whole NFL, not just wide receivers. But Penei Sewell at 22. If you guys remember right, last week I was making the argument that he could be the best player, um, based on dominance at his position. He could be I would make an argument that he's top three, if not the best, most dominant player at his position in the entire NFL right now. He would have had my vote for anywhere from 1 to 3. So that's that list. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that list because it's dumb, and I think it's absolutely atrocious what it looked like, and some of the things that ended up on there. Like I said, I mean, Aaron Rodgers being in there, I think it was like 92 or something crazy, absolutely crazy that he even made that list. It's crazy. So let's move on. I just want to throw out there that I did start a poll. And Brendan has no idea other than he's probably seen some of the X notifications. But I started a poll to see what you guys thought. If we were to set up a trash can 20 yards, 20 yards away from us, and we took turns throwing a football, regulation size football, and we both have the same football, who would get it in the least amount of throws? So this is just a fun one. We do have it on there on X as a poll. I think it's on for a week. I want you guys to vote because if we get to 100 votes, we're going to give away something pretty cool. I'm not going to disclose what that is, but I'll give you a hint. In 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, we're going back to training camp, and I'm pretty sure what I'm about to get there is going to be what we give away. So, not promising yet because I don't have it in my hands, but it's going to be pretty cool. So, you guys want to get on there. We want to get to 100 votes. It does not matter who you vote. You're not going to hurt our feelings. There's even a tie one on there if you really seriously are worried about that. But if you're worried about, hurting Brendan's feelings and you want to go with the person that's not going to get first place, then you can vote for him. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'll prove everybody wrong. It's no big deal. But I had it up first, and then I put it for like a day, and then I realized, you know what, I want to do it for longer, and I want to have about 100 votes on there to see what that kind of looks like, and then, like I said, it doesn't matter who you guys pick, it doesn't matter who wins. We're just doing that for fun. But if we can get enough votes, enough people, interested, or enough people seeing it and voting, we will give something away, just as a fun thing, and then. I think I also have an idea that involves kicking field goals as well. So maybe there's not a real big kicker battle going on in Detroit because all we have is Jake Bates as of right this second. it could change by the time I even upload this, but I have an idea for a kicker battle here. So we're going to start doing some fun things like I told you guys. We've got a really good setup to be outside doing things. We got microphones that we can take outside now. These ones are pretty awesome for what we're doing here, but they're obviously just for a setup here. But we're set up to be able to go outside and do some things and get away from just this being all you guys see all the time. So we're definitely doing some different things, and like I said, get on that one and vote. And once we get probably like 2 weeks in or so, we're going to go do it. Regardless of if we get 100 votes or not, we're going to go do it just for the fun of it, and we'll post it up. Hopefully we get to those 100 votes. Make sure you guys are sharing it and everything. And you have to follow us, you have to share, you have to like it, and you have to vote. Once we get to 100 votes, whoever's done all 4 of those things will be in it to win it, I guess, regardless of whoever gets the most. So, all right, let's talk about preseason, training camp, I should say. Let's talk about training camp. Sorry for the misspeak there. I want to talk about it because we went on Wednesday, and there's been a lot of misconceptions about some of the things that people have seen uh, on socials, I guess. One of them being Hendon Hooker. I just want to, and you know what? Again, I want to say this. I don't speak for Brendan. I don't know what he saw, what he interpreted. We were there Wednesday, which was the first day uh, of no pads after the first days of pads, if that makes sense. So it was a vanilla. Everybody was healing. It was a shortened practice. Um, that being said, anybody who says that Hendon Hooker is looking right now, I want to make sure I make this clear because this was the argument earlier. I'm not saying that it's not possible down the road, but there are people on X that are going to these or saying that they're going to these training camps and they're seeing Hendon Hooker is doing great and Hendon Hooker is making absolute dart throws, throwing dimes in the back of the end zone. Uh, there was a somewhat accredited X group account that actually said it's going to be funny or whatever when I'm not quoting, but said it's going to be funny when we find out Hooker's better than Goff. It could happen, but let's hold our horses because it's not right now. Um, everything everything I've seen from the organization is uplifting to Hendon Hooker, which is what you want when you've got a young talent. I shouldn't say young because Hendon Hooker's not not necessarily young by second year players standards, but when you've got somebody in their first full healthy season of the NFL, the team is saying what they should be saying to build their confidence. They're building his confidence. We're throwing everything at him. He's taking everything that we give him, and he's doing well. All this stuff. I watched and again he's practicing with the twos, and it's a vanilla practice. So I'm just saying. I watched him, and he's got a lot of work to do. Whatever, be a couch coach, couch GM, whatever you want to call me, that's fine. But I'm just addressing the couch coaches and couch GMs on the other side of the coin here. Hendon Hooker could be great, and Hendon Hooker is a good quarterback. He's not Jared Goff. He's not as good as Jared Goff, and he's got a long way to go before we even start throwing that idea out there. So I'm just saying, let's settle down. I know there was a lot of people with the whole let's put Hendon Hooker in, I guess, let's put him in this role, and we don't have to worry so much about Jared Goff's contract and all this stuff, and, it's Hendon Hooker time. It is not Hendon Hooker time, man. We need to give him some time. Now, could he go out there this weekend on Thursday and absolutely light it up? Yeah, 100%. And guess what? I would be super happy about that. I would love it. But let's just temper our expectations a little bit is all I'm saying on Hendon Hooker. He's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback at this moment. It could change at any time, but at this moment he's not there. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. Let's go into something else. Someone else. Levi Onwuzurike. Okay? We talked about him last week. And I had some things to say both on here and on X. This will go hand in hand with the Hendon Hooker thing, okay? I'm going to stand my ground on some things, but then when I'm wrong on others, I'm going to sit here in front of you guys and tell you I was wrong. I have no problem with that. It's very possible at this point that I'm wrong about Levi Onwuzurike. I was, like I said, when we drafted him, I was super excited. I was stoked. I thought he was going to be an absolute stud. I honestly thought he was going to be what Aleem McNeil is turning into, to be honest with you. Then he had his injuries. He struggled with that. He struggled getting back. Last year, I think he had like one tackle all season, which, again, he was struggling to get back. And there was a lot of people that, on X, they were asking, what do we do with Levi? Where are we at with Levi? And I honestly went on there about a week and a half ago. I went on there and I said, I'll be honest, I think our time with Levi is coming to an end very shortly here. And I stood by that, and I was sure of it. Um, we actually argued it last week, Brendan and I did, and I guess not argued it, but we talked about it, and he agreed. Uh, I think I'm going to back off of that. I think I'm going to say I was wrong. It's very possible, because we saw some of what Levi was doing. Again, vanilla practice, slow practice was literally 92 degrees at Allen Park by the time practice ended, and that's like before noon. It was 11 o'clock ish. I, I think he's on the right track. Uh, the coaches say he's on the right track, so obviously they're seeing way more than we are. Um, it's very possible Levi might be in this thing for a while, and it's possible we're gonna have to make a really tough decision after the season um, on our defensive lineman, because we're gonna have a very expensive DJ Reader. We're gonna have what's gonna be a very expensive Ali McNeil. If he balls out this year, we might have a very expensive Levi Onwuzurike. Aiden Hutchinson's going to be very expensive. We don't even know what we're doing on the other side of the ball yet, or on the other side of the line yet. But I will say, Matthew Betts is a beast. I was surprised, man. I saw Matthew Betts in person for the first time. That dude is a lot, a lot larger of a human being than I ever imagined. I thought he was. You see his highlights and stuff. He just doesn't. He plays. I don't want to say plays small. You see him out there. Some of his highlights for up in Canada ball, and he just doesn't look as large of a human being as he does on in real life, I guess. So that was really cool to see. We like I said, we saw the twos practice, so we got to see Giovanni Manu on one side as a tackle, and then Dan Skipper was on the other side. So that was crazy. Seeing those two on the line together was absolutely nuts. Um, I don't know how any quarterback's going to be able to see over or throw over that kind of a tandem. I'm not saying that's our tandem, but it's just kind of funny. So we saw some really cool things there. It was sunny, it was hot, and it went really quick because, like I said, it was a shortened practice. One thing that's really cool is where we were standing. We stood so that we could get autographs. We were standing in the autograph area for the whole practice. One thing that was really cool is we were able to see the entire first. I mean, all of them, the defensive secondaries, come over and do their walkthroughs and their drills and stuff like that. And I can't believe how crazy freak of an athlete Ifitu Melifonwu is. That dude is an alien. I'm telling you. Like, put him next to Brian Branch. Brian Branch is obviously a decent sized dude. You put him next to Kirby Joseph. You put him next to Carlton Davis, who was a lot taller in person than I thought than I pictured. Um, Put him next to Rakestraw. He's pretty close. But dude, I'm telling you, that guy up close, within 15 feet is a scary sight. If I was a quarterback and I saw that guy coming after me on a blitz, I'd lose the ball. I'd fumble and I'd run away. Honestly, I'd just be done. I don't even think I'd think to throw it away. I'd just be done. I'd curl up or whatever. Absolute freak athlete. Um, just crazy. So that's kind of what I have on what we saw there. We didn't see too much. We didn't see the ones really practice. Jake Bates didn't kick a single field goal. Jack Fox was punting, which was really cool because he was on field 2 by where we were, and he was punting the ball down. Jake Bates was fielding them for him, so we obviously got a little laugh out of that. He's going to be returning punts. I hope not, because he muffed quite a few of them. But we didn't really get to see too much. We did see a couple things like Sion Vaki was taking punt returns or what would have been a punt return setup, kick return setup. They did not have JMO out there doing those at that time. He was over with the receivers. Didn't see Dory's Fountain, but I've heard very good things about him. Saw him out there, but I'm just saying we didn't really get to see them do their thing. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what we saw the first time. We are going back on the 14th, which I'm excited about because it means they will be in between two preseason games. So I'm really happy we ended up with that one, and it's the last one that's open to public. So we're hoping to get, I don't know, a little more involvement with the guys. Hopefully they know that that's the last one and they'll come, I don't know, interact or sign stuff or whatever a little more. And with that, I kind of want to get into a little bit of the fanboy side of this. This I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We live on the opposite side of the state. We don't live in Detroit. So when we get over there for this kind of thing, like it's not very often. Like if we go to games and stuff, yeah, but like for this to get up at 3 a.m., which we did, to get up at 3 a.m., be on the road, and then get there, and then have a 2 hour practice or whatever, and then turn around and go right back. That's kind of difficult. But for our Lions, obviously, it's worth it. And it was my first time. It was my first time going to training camp, so I was super excited, and I turned into a little fanboy. I'll be honest. My kid helped me get some signatures, and I'm going to give you this caveat here. I did offer him this football, but he does not care about it. Like he literally he's a complete bandwagon Chiefs fan. Don't tell him I said that. But he is. He's a bandwagon Chiefs fan, and he doesn't care. Like at this point, he does not want anything Lions. Even football cards or whatever, he doesn't want them. I got extras or whatever. I try to give them to him. It's a thing with him. It's a rebellious thing or whatever. But so he helped me. We both were standing there. Brendan was standing there too, and we were able to get some guys to come up. We ended up with I'll show you obviously the football, and again, this was our first one, so just give us a little bit of leeway here because I know everybody's gonna be like, well, those are easy to get at training camp. First of all, we got a nice Kirby Joseph signature on here, which was super exciting. He almost didn't sign it because there was some kids next to us that while he was signing just down from us, somebody yelled and asked him how many MCLs or whatever he was going for this year. And he looked over and was like, seriously, kind of like. So we were glad that he came back. He turned around and came back after a little bit. So that was kind of cool. But we got Isaac Ukwu, rookie Isaac Ukwu. We got rookie Brian Hudson, center, undrafted there. We got James Mitchell, which was cool. The dude right next to us actually asked for his gloves, and James gave them to him, which is always really cool. Kirby Joseph, like I said, and then we got Jake Bates and Jack Fox. But I want to give a special second here for both of those guys because they started at the VIP section, and they literally walked the entire area that people were standing for autographs. They literally walked that entire area, signing literally everything people were giving them. Like, I mean, I don't know. They signed so many autographs. And I know that there's these bigger guys, like Kirby Joseph, bigger names like Kirby Joseph. He's got, whether it's an agent or an advisor or something that cuts him off after a certain amount of time. And I have to assume that that's to keep the value of his signature up or something. But these guys, I mean, dude, like I said, 92 degrees outside in the sun. They didn't practice real hard. I said obviously Jake Bates didn't even kick any field goals or anything, but those guys were committed, man. Those guys kicked. Wow. those guys signed like literally everything. The Jake's out there signing people's Hutchinson jerseys, and it's just crazy, man. Like big ups to them. So, uh, while Jake was signing the football, I just, I threw out there. I said, "Hey, I'm glad you stayed home. I'm glad you're, still playing here in Ford Field." And he did say that he'd rather be, or there was never the goal was to never go anywhere else or something along those lines. Whether that's true or not, whatever. But it was pretty cool. But then Jack Fox was probably my favorite, because Jack actually comes over to this side of the state, and he stays in Pentwater, Michigan, which is driving there is probably about 15 minutes away from the studio here where we live. And Brendan actually his full time job is a local newspaper here. He's a reporter, writer, photographer for a newspaper over here. And Brendan said, "Hey, I saw you last year. You put on a camp at Hart Public Schools, which is true. It happened." He said, I was there to take pictures, and I cover your camp or whatever." So, it was really cool because he's like, "Yeah, oh yeah," he's like, yeah, I stay in Pentwater every year." And so it was just really cool to have that conversation with him. And obviously he's doing that as he's signing, so it's short, but it was cool. It's cool to have some of those guys that seem larger than life interact in a way like that, especially when we're over here on this side of the state. So I warned you guys that I was going to go fanboy on you. Brendan's going to roll his eyes at this entire show, but it's true. I'm so thankful that the guys were willing to do this kind of thing. So I guess the last thing we really have is to talk about the preseason game. Uh, we're back finally. We've literally got 4 days from the time that this show is being recorded until we get to see Lions football. We probably won't see any starters, just like last year. I totally understand that. I get that. I do not care. I hope we get to see. Well, we will get to see. I'm sure of it. The entire game, the Hall of Fame game, was canceled because of weather, and the Bears fans took that as a win because they were winning at that time, I guess. First of all, it's preseason, and second of all, it was canceled. But anyway, um, I, it was cool to watch football again. It was a very boring game. It was really crappy teams playing each other. It was really cool to see football again. Um, Even if it was the Bears, which I did not care about, and it was really bad football. To be honest with you, it was not. I mean, it was. We didn't even get to see Caleb Williams. He didn't even. I mean, he was out there. He threw a couple of warm up passes and then he was gone. Uh, it was more like a dress rehearsal for him, which is cool, but whatever. Uh, it seems like as a rookie, you would roll him out there and give him at least a little bit, but I guess they didn't need to. I guess the savior of football doesn't need to practice or whatever. So, um, I'm excited for this matchup. Uh, I want to see like we are talking. I want to see Hendon Hooker. Want to see if they play some Levi Onwuzurike. Some of the aforementioned players. Want to see how Jake Bates does in an actual game setting, away from Ford Field, in an NFL game. I want to see what that looks like. I hope we're not doing this whole like go for it on fourth down. I want to do it in the actual season. I will throw that out there. I want to do it in the actual season. I don't want to lose our identity there, but I hope we get to see what the kicking situation really is. There was Friday was a rough practice, is what everybody said for Jake. He missed some field goal kicks during actual scrimmage, and so everybody's asking if the Jake Bates thing is over, if we're all done with that, and it's like, man, I don't know, whatever. It's too quick for that, but uh, yeah. So that's basically what I have on that. I really want to see the kicking situation. I want to see what Jake Bates does. I want to see what Hendon Hooker looks like in a real game scenario. That's going to be his first real NFL snaps, which is going to be pretty cool. I don't plan on seeing a whole lot of starters, if any. We'll see how that goes, but or at least not key starters. So yeah, really, I mean, honestly, that's our show. It would be a lot longer if Brendan's ugly mug was sitting next to me and he had some stupid things to say, like always. But since he doesn't, I mean, there's no reason for me to even go on a banter ranter or anything like that. I'm just gonna be chill with this one, and um, I'm thinking we'll do like a post game type thing. Probably not Thursday, but it'll probably be the day after. So we're thinking probably Friday, Friday evening. We'll come down here in the studio and we'll kind of talk about what we saw for the first preseason game and get that out to you guys. Like I said, we're also going to be keeping up with, YouTube Shorts. We're always on X. Facebook, we don't really do much with. We have a Facebook and an Insta, and both of them kind of suck, so we don't use those much. But you definitely want to try to get us on, TikTok, on YouTube, on X. We're all over there. We are continuing to give you guys as much as we can as far as Lions related stuff, but also we're gonna do some fun things. I think we're possibly gonna do our family fantasy draft. Brendan and I might actually do something with that. The studio is coming along really well. We are under construction. You guys see us sitting in this corner, but if I look out here, like this entire area is completely under construction. In fact, if I sound hoarse or something, it's probably because I'm, you know, breathing in drywall dust or whatever else. So, um, yeah, we've got a ton going on. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to bring you guys some really cool things, some new things. Like I said, we're going to plan on burying the same old Lions. We're going to have a nice little funeral for that, probably before week one. Um, and yeah, we just got a lot of fun things going. Football is back. The Lions are back. It's going to be a good season. We're starting. We're starting Thursday with games. Super Bowl season loading, baby. It's coming. Mark it down. We're gonna do it. It's happening. Um, I don't have much else for you guys. Like I said, we're not gonna do that was random. We're not gonna do anything like that. I don't want to talk about the fact that we traded Jack Flaherty because we kept Scooble, and then we went on a skid. So I don't have anything to say about that. I'm glad we didn't buy too much. I'm glad we didn't sell too much either. But other than that, make sure you watch football this weekend. It's time, baby. We're back. Go Lions, baby.